Welcome to US Rail Journeys, Series 3. It's been a long time coming, but with the easing of travel restrictions, I have been able to make the journeys I had originally planned for the spring of 2020. So far in this series, I have travelled from Miami to New York on the Silver Star, from New York to New Orleans on the Crescent, and now I'm travelling from Los Angeles to Chicago on the Texas Eagle. I will then complete my 6,684-mile rail tour using the Lakeshore Limited to New York, and then, for my final trip, the Acela to Boston. Episode 27, where our journey through Texas continues as we travel from Fort Worth to Mineola. Fort Worth Central Station serves the TexRail and Trinity Railway Express commuter rail lines. It serves Amtrak, Greyhound, and is the main transfer centre for Trinity Metro buses. The Trinity Railway Express service began on December 3rd, 2001. Amtrak followed in 2002, and TexRail began in 2019. There is an Amtrak train in the station going in the opposite direction. I suspect we've met the southbound Texas Eagle. The station opened on December 12th, 2001. Prior to this, services operated without a unified hub in downtown Fort Worth. It's north of two former stations, the Santa Fe Freight Building, built in 1938, now serving as the University of Texas at Arlington's Fort Worth Education Center, and the 1889 Gulf, Colorado and Santa Fe Railroad passenger station, which was renovated and renamed the Fort Worth Union Depot and served as Fort Worth's Amtrak station from 1971 to 2002. Amtrak operates two services from Fort Worth, the Texas Eagle, which we are on, and the Heartland Flyer, which runs to Oklahoma City. In 2019, over 107,700 passengers used Amtrak services at Fort Worth. Thinking about it, the train that I've just seen might be the Heartland Flyer. So I'm taking the opportunity of a breath of fresh air here at Fort Worth. But I can tell you one thing, it is extremely warm, but it's certainly a modern, clean, intermodal centre with the trains on one side, buses on the other. Certainly a facility that has been designed to help people use public transport. Conductor in the baggage car making sure that the right baggage comes off the train. And our locomotive number 53 looks as though it could do with a bit of tender loving care. But it has certainly been doing a good job pulling us here on time. I think some of the buses from here are certainly going long distance journeys. And behind me and in front of me you can see out of the station above the platform awnings to the tower blocks and offices of Fort Worth. So we're now leaving Fort Worth Station, spot on time at 2:20. We're going again through that semi-industrial area of town, past a yard stacked with pallets, empty pallets, some blue, and if I remember correctly, blue pallets are Chet pallets. Our next stop is Dallas, and the 31 miles are scheduled to take us 1 hour. At the speed we've set off at, we might be a little bit faster than that hour. Of course, we may be held for a while by a freight locomotive or something like that. We're progressing well. The line may be a bit bumpy around here. Sometimes it's a bit like trying to walk on the deck of a ship in slightly stormy weather. Lots of low-rise business, a Texaco, storage, trucking companies, car dealers. Everything you could think of as we travel along this line, making our progress towards Dallas. Large multi-storey car park there. And it all looks pretty dry, as though they're in need of some rain. And then amongst all of that, railway sidings, railway yards, and houses. Mustn't forget the houses. But still, not a solar panel to be seen.
I will be taking my lunch break in the next 15-20 minutes, so if you'd like to come and get something for lunch, now would be the perfect time. I will make a reopening announcement once I come back. Thank you.
As we come into Dallas, passing some office buildings, plenty of space between the office buildings. No doubt the office buildings are well air conditioned. Passing through local commuter stations from the local commuter network trains.
Ladies and gentlemen, here in a few minutes for our next stop of Dallas. Dallas, Texas, ladies and gentlemen. If Dallas is your stop, please take this time to check up, down, around, and you see for your personal belongings. Remain seated and do not go downstairs until we make a complete stop at the station. Now, there's a couple things, ladies and gentlemen, got a lot of people getting on. If you have your personal belongings sitting beside you in your seat and you do not have 2 tickets, please take your personal belongings, put it up in the electric part above your head. 1 ticket per person per seat. If you don't have 2 tickets, you are not entitled to 2 seats. Now, if you want to buy that seat beside you, you're more than welcome to do so. And better to do so if you continue to occupy that second seat without a ticket. It's called theft. You will be removed to police for theft. Also, ladies and gentlemen, those are traveling through, Dallas is a smoke stop. If you want to get off train, say smoke a cigarette, you're more than welcome to do so. We'll be back at train about 3:30. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, 3:30. It's 15:30 for our military personnel. First responders, we greatly appreciate all that you do for us. So if you get off train, say smoke a cigarette, be back at train about 3:30. Then when all the boys have been given, please enter the train. Now, if you're not on the train leaves Dallas, you'll be left in Dallas. Well, that's all right. Guess next train tomorrow night. But we want to make sure you get to destinations today. Once again, those are traveling through, get off train, say smoke a cigarette, be back at train about 3:30. All aboard been given, please enter the train. Because if you're not on the train leaves Dallas, you'll be left in Dallas. I know, because Melissa, and Jennifer, Michelle, Jonathan, Emery, they see me do it. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Dallas, Texas, head send your car down the stairs. Use the handrails coming downstairs, exit the train. Thank you.
We arrive in the 9th largest city in the United States. It claims the invention of the integrated circuit in 1958 at Texas Instruments. After the discovery of oil 100 miles east in 1930, Dallas quickly became a financial center for the industry and the setting, of course, for Dallas, the 1980s television show. There's a concentration of high-tech firms, Fortune 500 companies, numerous corporate headquarters, and one of the largest urban arts districts in the nation. There are glitzy skyscrapers including the iconic Reunion Tower and the Bank of America Plaza. The metro population is over 7.5 million. In 1841, John Neely Bryan established the permanent settlement that became Dallas. It's believed that the name may have come from George Mifflin Dallas, US Vice President under James K. Polk. Highland Park Village, opened in 1931, was the second shopping mall ever to be constructed in the US. It's still in use and is a National Historic Landmark. A notable event is the State Fair of Texas at Fair Park, which has been held annually since 1886. The Red River Shootout, pitting the University of Texas against the University of Oklahoma at the Cotton Bowl, is the fair's finale. We see Dallas Area Rapid Transport, or DART trains, at the station, as well as the Trinity Rail Express linking Dallas to Fort Worth. Notable from Dallas, film producer Aaron Spelling was born here. Dallas Union Station, officially the Eddie Bernice Johnson Union Station, is also known as Dallas Union Terminal. It serves DART Light Rail, Trinity Railway Express commuter rail, and Amtrak. It's in the Reunion District of downtown Dallas and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The first floor has an Amtrak ticketing window, waiting room and privately rented offices. The second floor contains the restored Grand Hall and several meeting rooms named after railways that once serviced Dallas. The Union Terminal Company constructed the station in 1916 to consolidate the 5 railway stations that were scattered around Dallas. At its peak, as many as 80 trains stopped here each day. In 1954, the building served as a temporary library, whilst the Dallas Public Library System built a new central library. The last privately owned passenger train to serve Union Station, the Missouri Pacific Railroad's Texas Eagle, left here on May the 31st, 1961. Amtrak initially consolidated most of its Metroplex service at Fort Worth, but planned to introduce a service to Dallas once improvements were made at Union Terminal. The Amtrak service began on March the 14th, 1974, with the Inter-American between St. Louis and Laredo. This train has evolved into today's Texas Eagle. From 1975 to 1981, the station was also served by the Lone Star, a descendant of the old Santa Fe mainstay, the Texas Chief. 44,238 Amtrak passengers used the station in 2019. As I sit here at Dallas Union Station, just heard the bell of a train coming through, but this one's a large freight train. So on one side we've got a local rapid express to Fort Worth, and on the other side, as I say, a large freight train, but it looks as though it's full of empty wagons. Spot on time. We're leaving Dallas Union Station. Our next stop, 5:15 p.m. according to the schedule, at Mineola. We seem to have shaken off the worst of the Dallas suburbs, although behind the trees I think there's still some industrial buildings. A plant over there with lots of chimneys. A site over there that looks like a very big electricity substation. But we're gathering speed. Past warehouses, probably serviced by the major freight depot that we've just gone past. But at least the warehouses are smart and have grounds around them, rather than just being scrappy old 1960s buildings in need of a lot of attention. Warehouse for a company called Midwest Air Technology. I wonder what they do. I'm just counting. The Elements warehouse has 240 loading bays. Now we're back to some of the older looking buildings. The Metroplex, Welding Supply, the Miracle Dent Repair Company. I'm going through a community with those older clapboard houses. There's a stadium on my left. Is that American football or is it for baseball, I wonder?
High school stadium.
It's a high school stadium.
And that's small.
But there are bigger ones in the better areas of town, at the more expensive schools. Another site where there are diggers working hard. Actually, the earth here that they're digging out is quite dark, so I would imagine that it's quite fertile in this area. Passing a wood yard with lots of trusses for houses. Though we're still in a leafy area, it looks like we're passing a major power plant. The start of the electron's journey from power generation to end use in somebody's home. Another strip of low-rise retail outlets with a dual carriageway passing by. All the usual names of all the usual chains, ever onwards. And quite a few of the names of the chains are ones that I do actually know because I get junk emails from them. I have no idea how I've got onto their mailing lists, but sometimes even when you say unsubscribe, nothing happens. We've just gone through the small unincorporated community of Lawrence. We're now passing Olympic Trailer Services. It appears to do maintenance work for semi-trailers for articulated vehicles. Then after a few more small businesses, we seem to be getting out into the countryside again. Just past a large lake. Must be a recreational lake, but look very nice and inviting. Passing fields now definitely harvested because roll upon roll of straw waiting to be picked up. The man with the microphone thanks the passengers and crew on train number 422, the Texas Eagle, which left Los Angeles Union Station on Sunday the 3rd of July 2022, bound for Chicago. The US Rail Journeys podcasts are produced and published by the Mr. T Podcast Studio. Thank you very much for listening, and please join me again in a couple of weeks for the next instalment.